Yo, North Server here. Welcome back to the channel. Alright, so Joe Blackburn posted a state of the game follow up, and I want to, just dive into it with y'all, and maybe we can conversate in the comments down below. And I'm going to be just pausing after, and giving my opinion on what he says because let's all be real. The state of the game was not it. I think everybody in the community hated it. If you liked it and you backed Bungie up on it, I don't think I really don't think you should be backing them up on that. But let's get right into this and let's see. He says so 16 minutes long. So yeah, let's get into it. Is Destiny 2 saved? Did he save the final shape? Let's check it out and let's give our opinion.
Hey everybody, it's Joe, and I'm just here to check in on how Destiny's going. So a few weeks ago, we put about a state of the game communication that wasn't up to our standards for what y'all have come to expect for those kinds of communications. It didn't provide the high-level vision that we normally provide, and really and truly, a bunch of us were heads down working the final shape and weren't able to give it the sort of care and love that we normally put into these kind of communications. And that's nobody's fault but mine here on this.
All right, so first off, I give this man props for pretty much just coming out and saying, yo, we messed up, and I love this how it's just a one-on-one. It's a one-on-one with him and the audience, with him and me, so I give him props for that. It takes a lot of courage to do that. So, I think a lot of other devs do that as well, but it's like they have people around them with them. This guy's doing it one-on-one, so give him props for that, acknowledging that the state of the game was terrible, and it was not up to Bungie standards at all.
So I wanted to come in, talk to y'all directly, and sort of give you an update on what we thought about the state of the game that we put out and what we think about Destiny as a whole. Now, this is going to be pretty different than normal. This isn't a highly produced sort of production. It's me in my office. It's not scripted. I've got a bunch of notes here that we're going to read through. And it's going to feel probably more like you're just in a meeting with me, which is going to be rambly, and we're probably going to mess up a few times. But really, I just want to go over where we're thinking about the game. So what we're going to talk about today, we're going to talk about the reveal coming out next week. We're going to talk about PvP. We're going to talk about armor. We're going to talk about our communication strategy. Those are the big ones.
Awesome.
So let's just get right into it. Let's start with reveal. Next week, we're going to go out and we're going to show an awesome showcase for the final shape. We're really excited about a bunch of the content in there, but truly, that showcase is not a reaction to the state of the game last week. It's not a reaction to a bunch of the sentiment online, and it's definitely not a reaction to this video. It was recorded a while ago. I think I have a mustache in the video, and it's a pretty focused reveal. In the same way that the game itself is pretty focused. The final shape is focused on the light. It's focused on the enemies we've been setting up and the allies that you've come to know. It's not about a bunch of wacky new systems or wacky new themes coming into Destiny. Instead, we want to make an experience that's super easy for anyone who's ever played Destiny to come in and absolutely fall in love with the content that's before them. I think the other thing that's really important here to know, as I sort of look at my meeting notes, is that communication is built for a pretty wide audience, much wider than probably whoever is watching this video. So what we're not going to talk about is things like a big new Strange Coin refactor and Xur revamp that's coming out in the final shape. We're not going to talk about things like a refactor of HUD elements where we're making sure the buffs and the debuffs are more clear and you can tell what's happening in higher level combat.
All right, so he's hinting at a Xur revamp with Strange Coins being the, what you use to maybe it's gonna be like Destiny 1 kind of, which is really cool. And the new HUD feature, which was actually leaked, I think. So, maybe for example, like when you're radiant and whatnot. So, that's pretty cool. I'm excited to see the Xur revamp. That's pretty awesome.
It's going to, again, really be focused on the story, really be focused on the location, and maybe we'll get into a little bit about how the live service of Destiny is going to change after the final shape. Following that showcase, Dan, our GM, and I are going to be on set, taking questions, dotting T's, crossing I's, or maybe the reverse of that, on what you've seen in the showcase. So we'll provide a little bit more clarity on what was shown, and we'll probably get into some ways that maybe our philosophy on the final shape or specific details might have changed over the last few weeks since we recorded the showcase. All right, I think that's it for reveal. If I'm looking at the sheet next, we've got PvP. So let's start with the...
All right, to me, this is going to be the make or break for me personally, because I am if you guys ever watch the streams and whatnot, watch the content, I'm a PvP main, so let's see, is PvP saved? Save us, Joe, I believe.
The state of PvP right now in Destiny. What have we been doing? What have we been focused on? We've been really focused on sandbox balance. So like a big focus of effort last year was just making sure that Strand came out in a good place and got to live sort of in harmony with the rest of our Crucible ecosystem. Aside from that, we've been focusing on putting up 2 weapon balances per season, one at the start, one in the mid-season. And we've been focusing on ritual updates to PvP, be this mode updates, point updates, reward updates at the beginning of each season. Finally, we flip over to our agenda. We've been focused on...
All right, well, one thing before he gets into this, I have been loving the 2 balance changes of a season, because I remember we would go months, like 6 months without any kind of update. So I've been liking that a lot. And one thing I wish they would do is some guns and some abilities, some weapons, some abilities do deserve to be just absolutely killed, hence immortal. That thing has received so many nerfs, and it's still really, really strong. So yeah, that's one thing I would love for them to do. I miss the old Bungie where they would just nuke the weapon. Like, they need the Lord of Wolves treatment. You know, make it just unusable.
I'm making 1 new map and a few reprises a year. Now, all that aside, I think it's fair to say this approach is not producing the Crucible that our players expect us. So what are we going to do? How are we going to change? First, let's talk about maps. It's clear that the sort of slow trickle of PvP maps isn't having the effect we want. And although it gets an injection of PvP maps every so often into the ecosystem, it's also forcing this like 1 new map a year. Means you're trying to build a map that has to do everything, which means it can't be good at anything. So next year, we're going to change our philosophy. Instead of a slow trickle of maps throughout the year, we're going to focus our effort into a single map pack that's free for everyone.
All right, a map pack. Well, I do agree with him as well. Like, having 1 map have to carry everything is just not it. Look at Disjunction. Man, that we don't want to talk about Disjunction, right? That did not go well. Everyone hates that map. I think if they just deleted it from the game, no one would care. So a map pack. All right, so when I hear map pack, I'm thinking 4 maps, maybe even more, but 4 at the minimum. What are they gonna do? Is it gonna be 2 reprise from D1 and 2 new ones, or is it gonna be like actual new? Because he's saying new. So, but Bungie's terms of new sometimes is actually reprised content. So I'm excited, but also optimistic. So we're gonna have to see that when that actually drops, right?
So imagine new maps coming in 1 drop, where we can make a bunch of new experiences that can all be good at specific things and adds a big variety in a single drop next year. Now, this is a shift from our strategy, so it's going to take us time to sort of understand the details of what we're putting out here and getting that out to y'all next year. Okay, maps are great, but we still really believe that PvP is about the foundation, and new maps aren't going to solve a foundation. So, modes. First of all, I'm really excited about what's coming out in Season 22, first with Checkmate. Checkmate is a mode all about that sort of primary fire, basic weapon excellence of Bungie games, and being able to show that excellence in a PvP setting. It's what a bunch of our like really marksman style PvP players have been asking for a long time since Destiny 1. And we're finally going to put a mode like that in the game. And I'm super excited for a bunch of those players to get that experience starting right away in Season 22. Next, we've got...
All right, so Checkmate, personally, I'm really excited because there's a lot of gimmicks in Destiny 2. There's a lot of ability spams. There is also, like, just overpowered weapons. And I just, it sounds like it's going to be a refreshing balance. Yeah, sometimes the chaoticness, I don't even know if that's the word, but, the chaotic, fast pace, ability spam. It can be fun, but it can also be very, very draining and exhausting. So this is going to be a chill mode to go in when you just want to have primary fights. And I think this will create a skill gap. So if it's like really good, I definitely see this being the future of Destiny 2 PvP, but we will see because hand cannon's TTK isn't getting changed. So maybe a hand cannon meta in Checkmate is going to be really, really nice. We all remember year one, Destiny 2, nobody liked the team shot meta, the centipede bunch up, team shot. It was not fun. So let's continue.
Relic. And so Relic is a different kind of mode, and it sort of is a building off of these experiments that we've been doing with things like Fortress or Eruption, where it's about this quality Destiny sandbox experience of your guns and your powers that escalates when you succeed in sort of a crazy mayhem-like experience. And we think the balance of those two things is a really great time to sort of spin away from other parts of the game and get the full spectrum of what Destiny has to offer. I'm really excited about things like Fortress, and I'm really excited that Relic is going to provide an experience like this that is both, fun for people that are really good at slaying out and also has these sort of like high octane hijinks moments to it. But that's what we've already committed to. So let's talk about some new things that we think we need to do. One, we know we need to bring more of our modes into the core playlists. We've been putting a lot.
All right, so Relic, I'm not too big like on Relic. I'm not like super excited like, oh my Relic, but it's something new and something fun to try out. So I don't know how it's gonna be. He's comparing it to Eruption and Fortress. So I don't know if it's gonna be like if you go on a spree like a 10 kill streak, you can pick up whatever relics available in that. Because they hinted at the Vault Glass relic and those relics from the Leviathan and whatnot. So, well, the Valkyrie, I think it was called, from one of the seasons as well. So, definitely going to be excited to check it out and have some fun with the homies and play that. And could play it with chat too. So, maybe they'll put it in private matches. That'll be fun to like get everyone together and just mess around. All right, let's continue.
Out in labs, we've been putting a lot out in Iron Banner. And to be honest, there's a few obstacles to us putting these into our core playlists, be this VO or small bug level issues that we just were like, I don't know if we're ready. I think that has been blocking us from doing the right thing here. So we're going to take on some of that bug wake. We're going to take on a little bit of the jank, and we're going to say, no. This isn't worth us not putting into the mode. And so we're going to take some of these modes that we've been putting in Crucible Labs, we've been putting in Iron Banner, and taking them and putting them into the core PvP experience that most of our players experience. We've also heard a lot about comp, and particularly about the way that we reward points in comp. So we want to take a new approach to the way that we're balancing points in comp. Right now, we think it's just weighted too much on your personal MMR versus the people you're playing against. And when you win or when you lose a game, it can be really unpredictable how many points you're getting. We're going to go to a simpler system where winning or losing just matters more. Finally, we want to get great modes like Countdown.
All right, so my opinion on what he said about comp is I feel like comp should be rank based because my lobbies at certain times when I do play comp, the matchmaking does take quite a while, and I feel like it's not a lot of people up there in that MMR, and we kind of have to suffer for that. And I feel like a lot of lower skill players can climb the ladder a little bit more easier because it is skill based. I'm pretty sure it's skill based, and their lobbies are just way easier than mine for sure because I'd be playing the same people over and over. But let's continue.
Rush into competitive and get modes that people are less excited about, like Rift, out of the rotation.
Yes.
Making that competitive experience more about the game modes that, our players enjoy.
Get rid of Rift. Thank you.
Okay, so we've talked map strategy, we've talked modes. I want to talk one other effort we want to do here. We're going to bolster what we call a PvP strike team. Throughout Destiny development, we've built strike teams for efforts before. This has probably been sort of invisible to you all in the audience, but in moments like in between Curse of Osiris and Warmind, we built a strike team for Destiny investment. This team was sort of built around, hey, how can we make it more rewarding and more enjoyable to just get stuff in Destiny 2? This team built stuff very quickly, like what would eventually become the masterworking system. They also went through, knocked out a whole bunch of bugs, knocked out a whole bunch of quality of life issues. We're going to take the same effort and we're going to build a PvP strike team around the same principle, but have it focused on the Crucible. It's going to be led by PvP developers, and it has a really interesting playbook for how this works. And that's that first the team decides what they want to do. They as a team get together, say, hey, these are the changes we want to make. Those changes go through me, they go through our systems CD. And then when we say, yep, those are great changes, they immediately get communicated with you all in the community, right?
Yes. All right, so first off, this has me thinking, was there a PvP team at all? Who is running the show? I truly believe we did not have a PvP team until either recently they were making this PvP strike team. That's amazing. We finally have a PvP team, which is awesome. So yeah, that is really, really cool, and I'm super excited about that. And it's led by PvP devs, so there we go. This right here has to be my favorite thing so far, and this has me more hyped than that State of the Game did, and it actually has me hopeful as a PvP player. Now I have hope in the game in the future, and I know it's just words, easier said than done, but let's be real, PvP has been on the back burner for so long, and this has me actually excited with the map packs coming or the map pack coming as well. So I don't know, it's easier said than done. It's just words. We gotta wait until we see it done. But once again, has me hopeful. Thank you, Joe. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Okay, so this will be going out in a Twid, going out in a Twitter post, or going out on Reddit, right? Just sort of some immediate blast, like, hey, these are the changes coming. And those changes get communicated even before they start getting implemented. And then we start getting implemented. We found this formula is a really successful way for us to be able to push through changes quickly into the community. And I think one of the most exciting parts about these strike teams is we build them based off of community feedback. So these strike teams are built from the ground up to look at, hey, what are the pain points that are hitting our community the most? And so all this list is going to be built and burned down from, hey, these are the big issues the PvP community is looking at in Destiny. All right, I think that's the end of the PvP part of our...
All right, that's going to be it for me. No, I'm just kidding. I'm going to actually watch the rest of this. It's a joke, but I am very excited. PvP strike team, map pack, those got me hyped. New modes, I'm excited for Checkmate Relic, not too much. What are your guys' thoughts on Checkmate and Relic, PvP strike team? I'm excited. Riff is going to be leaving comp by the looks of it as well. I think everyone hates Riff. I'd much rather play Countdown than Riff. So let's continue on. And so far, this is an amazing follow-up on State of the Game, because I did not enjoy that State of the Game. It did not have me hyped at all. And now I'm hyped and hopeful. So thank you, Joe. Let's continue.
Our agenda, if I'm looking at our notes here, I think we're now going to talk about armor. It's probably been a while since we talked about this part about armor, but we might have talked about it before. I want to start with just talking about armor visual categories in Destiny. So at the top, we've got what we call aspirational armor. This is stuff like raids, trials, dungeons. We want the armor that comes from these activities to be flashy, or to really talk about the core of what that experience is. It's really important that when players earn these armors, they feel proud, they want to wear them, they want to show them off in the tower. Next, we've got silver, right? This is armor that you can buy for the store for silver. It's important for us that this feels like it's sort of breaking the mold of what you could expect in a Destiny game. It's our place to experiment with stuff that's a little bit fourth wall breaky. And importantly, we want anyone that spends silver on armor to feel like, hey, it was worth it, right? Like I got my money's worth when I spent this armor, it was cool. Then we have what I call narrative armor. This is the stuff that you'll see in any sort of our marketing trailers. This is the stuff that you earn in the season pass. It's the stuff that you earn in the post game of a campaign. And it's really about driving home what that specific moment in time was. So in season 21, it's deep sea diver armor, right? In Witch Queen, it's this sort of like weird paranormal detective armor. You'll see what it is in the final shape here in a week or so. But that armor for us is really about like driving home this clear, consistent fantasy of like, oh yeah, I was there. I remember that time in Destiny. Finally, we've got rituals and blues. And this space has always sort of been about that core Guardian fantasy. What does the Guardian look like that you would imagine sort of the stereotypical everyday Guardian, or the Guardian that you see on the front line? Maybe tragically a Guardian that tried to go into the portal of the Traveler and then gets cut up into a million pieces. This is that spot. And we need a lot of armor here to sort of flesh out those fantasies. Now, sometime in the middle of last year, we sort of reevaluated our priorities on armor. And we said, hey, we need to be spending more on the armors that people care the most about, the people that earn, that spend, that do all this to this so they can sort of get these armors in the game. So this is like our PvP stuff in trials, our aspirational stuff in raids and dungeons, our narrative stuff. We thought we weren't consistently hitting the bar enough.
All right, so before he keeps going, I think they did an amazing job on Ghost of the Deep armor, and they did an amazing job on Spire the Watcher armor. You know, they give us the cowboy themed hats. You know, I thought those are amazing sets, and Ghost of the Deep armor looks amazing. Really, really good armor, so definitely cannot hate on that, especially Spire the Watcher.
In those looks. And I think that since that initiative, we've been really successful in this. We've put out great stuff in terms of like cowboy armor for Spire. We've put out awesome stuff in the Root of Nightmares raid, and we've put out a bunch of awesome armor sets for sort of a deep sea fantasy last season and Season of the Deep. Now, what we failed to do when we reprioritized, hey, where are our resources going, is communicate this to you. So we knew that when we made this change, we weren't going to be able to make a ritual armor set every single year. And we thought, okay, well, that's fine. We have a lot that fits this sort of base Guardian fantasy. But we should have communicated that out to you. And so, one, I'd like to say, this is not a thing that we're never going to invest in. We're investing in it again in the final shape. There's going to be a whole nother ritual suite of armor.
All right, so new ritual armor in the final shape, which is nice. And they are pretty much saying that there won't be any new ritual armor for the whole year. They're pretty much skipping a year, pretty much.
And we're excited to sort of replenish that base Guardian fantasy. But just because we're doing that in the final shape year, that doesn't mean that we communicated this soon enough. So also for this year, we want to take an armor set that we were going to put in the Eververse, and we're saying, no. We should have communicated this earlier. It's really important that our fans can trust us. Let's take this armor set that we were going to use in Season 22 for the Eververse set, and let's say, no, it's going to be free, and we're going to put it as a ritual rewards.
Oh, so there we go. They're going to put an Eververse set into the ritual sets for Crucible, Vanguard, Gambit, question mark? Let's keep going.
So next season, before the end of the season, you should see a brand new armor set that you can earn through playing Strikes, Crucible, Gambit as like a ritual reward for doing this, a brand new armor look. Again, we're confident in our strategy going forward. We believe this is the right priority going forward, but also it's our responsibility to communicate this stuff sooner. So we want to make sure that we're doing the right thing by all the fans. All right, I think that's armor. Let's talk about comms. Okay, we've talked a lot about how the development team is very busy, and I think that although we really want to be focused on delivering great content to y'all and making sure that's our top priority, that doesn't mean our communications have to suffer. And so the first thing, we want to be talking to y'all more.
Good.
But talking to y'all more, our number one priority, we have to keep our community members and our community leaders safe from the Bungie side. I don't want anyone that signs up to come work at Bungie and to talk to y'all about the game to have to worry about their personal safety. So we're going to keep using our branded accounts. You'll see these on Twitter and you'll see these on Reddit, right? And we want to be using those accounts with more personality, going and talking to y'all more.
All right, so if you guys don't remember, one of our beloved community managers, he was one of my favorite community managers. He was an OG from Destiny 1 DMG, was actually harassed, and there was a whole court settlement or just a bunch of, drama surrounding that. So please do not take the communication for granted, because Bungie at any time could just be like, you know what, screw you guys, we're not going to communicate anymore, we're just going to leave you guys in the dark, and we're just going to, whenever the twit or twop comes out, that will be our only communication. So this is a very, very good news, so don't take that for granted. Me, I do not have Twitter, but maybe I will consider making a Reddit so I can give my feedback to the PvP strike team if they are going to be taking questions there. So definitely don't take it for granted, please, and don't be rude. Just give positive feedback or hateful feedback, or not hateful feedback, but negative feedback. But don't do it in a hateful way.
The other thing is me. I play the game a bunch, and right now I don't have a bunch of time to be writing sort of big, long blog posts like you would assume. But when season 22 rolls around again, I'm going to be in the game a lot. I'm going to be playing a lot. So what we want to do is commit to a few times next season and the season after. I'm just going to stream me playing the game, and you'll be able to come and talk to me. And it's not going to be reveal packed, but it is a great time to just be like, hey, check in with Joe. These are the things that we're feeling. Get his opinions on them. And hopefully, if I can get and play with some of our elite players, me learn a bit more about the game. I learn a ton from playing with y'all in the community about different builds that are exciting and different ways to roll. So I want to commit, get out there, play some PvP, learn from some experts, and play alongside all of you next season. All right, the only thing that I have left here is close. So I think that means my rambling on here today is over. Thanks so much for listening to this, for watching this. Really excited to see a bunch of y'all next week at the reveal. Bye.
All right, so he is gonna be streaming some Destiny 2, which is gonna be fun. That's gonna be really, really interesting to see, because if he plays Trials, he's gonna be getting, probably if he's on PC, he's gonna be stream sniped by cheaters. So that's gonna be some content to watch. So he's gonna be playing with some elite players, or he wants to play with some elite players. So I'm guessing he's gonna be playing with people like Dado, PvE side, and PvP side probably like ZK Mushroom, etc. So Crossbow. It's gonna be nice to see him stream, and his mods definitely are gonna have to be ready for that. So what are you guys' thoughts on this? There's a lot of W's. My favorite take on all this is the PvP strike team, and it has me thinking: did we even have a PvP team before this follow up? And it's gonna be led by PvP devs, and I'm excited. So I don't know. This definitely has me more hyped than any of the State of the Game did. So comment down below. Let's discuss, and I want to know what your guys' favorite take away from this was. And yeah. So also credit to Conflicts here for posting this, because I do not have Twitter, so I definitely respect that. Is Destiny saved? Destiny 2, the final shape saved. Does this get you guys hyped? Got me hyped, because that State of the Game didn't, and now I'm actually looking forward to the showcase, which I wasn't, but now I am. So yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. Let's discuss this, and peace.